morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning, Chad. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning.
Good morning,
We are,
LinkedIn family.
That's
I
right.
was going to say, we welcome those of you that are going to be joining us live. And I'm borrowing this from Denise. If you're watching this on the replay, let us know. Hashtag Team Replay. We love to hear from you. Ask us questions, leave us your comments. We are here to serve. And we are very excited to come together as the trio approach. If you're wondering, okay, what the heck is that? Well, the trio approach is when three magnificent people come together, and together we are going to create a program that's going to help you transform your business. So we are beyond excited to be with you here today. And today, again, we welcome your questions. But what we thought we will start with, and this applies if you've been in business 2 years or 5 years, right? If you're at that point where you're ready to maybe make a different offer to your audience, this is how do you position that offer? How do you price that offer? And today I'll be sharing, and I am just delighted, even if I take one quick side note, and just how Chad and Denise and I came together, right? There is no coincidences, but we were in an audio room. Denise was hosting an audio room. Chad showed up in the audio room, and I said, I see some synergy. I think that the two of them should do more audio rooms together because it was just the way they were helping people. And then they joined my LinkedIn audio room. And this is how the trio approach was born because we all bring our genius zone, and together we're going to be able to help somebody go through all of the three stages. So today's stage is you've been in business. How do you position yourself? How do you package your services? Chad or Denise, any questions that you have seen or comments that you have seen, how people get overwhelmed when it comes to positioning their service and packaging? How do they do that?
Well, I'll just say I don't know that I've had conversations because that's not my area of expertise, really. But I will say that I have seen, based on some of the people that we belong to that are in the same groups and those just in general that I've come across that I've maybe not spoken to directly, but I've seen their cheesecake approach. So maybe Chella, you can share with us. I stole that from Chella because she uses that verbiage all the time. So maybe share with us what cheesecake strategy really means.
So if you haven't seen the cheesecake, and listen, I'm not saying that it's not. I mean, they have some amazing food, just about everything. Although I do stick to the regular thing.
And she's
I have
referencing
my
the
son.
Cheesecake Factory, just so you know, right?
The
The
Cheesecake
cheesecake.
Factory. Cheesecake Factory.
Yes.
I have my youngest son, and that's where he wants to go for his birthday. And he's been doing this for at least 15 years. And I'm like, right. So once a year I go there. And so, but the cheesecake approach is, and I also saw this at a farmer's market with jellies and jams, right? So it's the Cheesecake Factory. They have such a selection, right? And I understand because they want to attract a big crowd. But as business owners, we got to be very specific about what offer are you putting together and who is the audience that you're going to attract with that, right? You're not a Cheesecake Factory menu. You're not going to serve everybody, and you're not going to serve, and so that's why getting specific about what are your offers, but with the end in mind. Who do you want to work with? Right?
Yeah.
Is it, yes, Chad?
Yeah, I see that all the time too, especially when people are out there prospecting and trying to get their, what they offer out there. They're offering so many things. They're locking up their potential customers in the sense that they're putting them in analysis paralysis. It's like, well, what do you offer exactly? There's so many different directions in their messaging. There's so many different products. I'm like, you've got to narrow it down to one topic, one specific theme And then maybe you have some variables to it, but you got to have that one specific focus. And that's so important. And that's something you're great at, Chella.
And if you walk away with nothing else today, is if you're thinking, well, like Chad said, I'm going to focus on maybe one item, two items, maybe three items, right? Whatever that is, you're thinking, but what about all the other people? What about all my other skill sets? This is what, if you take nothing away from today, this is what I have seen over and over again in my past 10 years on this entrepreneurship journey. And that is, when you cut that small sliver of pie, when you make that narrow, whether it's the one offer, two offers, three offers, I think three offers is a really good. I happen to have three offers myself. It's just meeting the client where there is. It's the same offer. It's just a longer period of time, right? So I don't have three separate. It's just same. So when you cut that small sliver of pie, so I say that I focus on working with women entrepreneurs. But guess what? If a guy or a man comes along and says, is that something you can do for me? What do you think my answer is? Yes. Because as you cut that small sliver of pie and you go after that audience, other people are going to come along and say, can you help me with this? That is so precious that it's worth repeating. Cut that tiny little sliver of a pie with your offer, with whatever it is that you're going to go. And as you go along and you say, I only work with whatever, or my ideal person is, right? Other people are going to ask, right? That is a beautiful place to be in. So if you're thinking that I'm going to take my Cheesecake Factory menu and zero it down and maybe make 1, 2, 3 offers, I'm going to cut out all those other people. No, you're not. By identifying that audience that you want to serve, it's going to allow you to attract more of those folks. Think of it as that small, tiny little piece of pie. So whatever you think it is, it's let it go. Cut that out. Cut that tiny little sliver of pie. Who do you offer? What's your offer? And who do you serve?
Yeah, so Chella, I love that. But when we talk about then who do we serve, right? We've created this ICP. I think this is where Chad really comes in and does a great job of helping you once you've developed your offer and you have your ICP. How do you actually go out and target them? So how do you prospect in a way that you can reach people to actually even share your offer? So Chad, maybe take us down that path.
Yeah. So what it really looks like is, once you have your ICP and you know who you want to target, then it's a matter of finding out where they are, what they're interested in, what they're talking about, what their pain points are, and really doing a little bit of research. And, just like we are as consumers, our customer is online. So you're going to find them on professional places like LinkedIn. You're going to find them in chat boards. You're going to find them on social media. Look at the sort of topics that your ICP talks about. What is their terminology? And that's really important, is because you've heard so many times, speak the language of your customer. Well, the language of your customer is knowing the things that they're discussing and that they're interested in and their pain points well enough so that when you are actually interacting with them on a human level, that you almost feel like a colleague. You almost feel like a coworker because you are that entrenched in their world. And that can be from many different industries, but it's about their role. If they're a CFO or if they are a VP of something, or they're an owner of a business, talk directly to their pain points and speak about what's really most important to them, what their challenges are, what their goals are along those lines. And then, of course, connect with them in the manner that they choose to be. I mean, we all know that right now, using the phone and email isn't necessarily the best place to do it, but you can absolutely do it on a professional network like LinkedIn, where you can have access to them and you can share your message in that very human way. And it's really important because, the rise today of AI, it's very easy to fall in that trap of, I can template things and I can automate them. Well, guess what? We've all got templates and they're kind of easy to spot and people are a little bit numb to them. Put that human touch in it. Personalization isn't about knowing their name or knowing their company name or anything like that. It's about understanding what their problems are, their challenges, and their goals. And when you figure that out, and you're looking and you're sending out your messaging and you're communicating and you're posting content online, that's when you build that synergy. That's when you start forming those relationships, and you get invited to the conversation. It happens. You know, today content creation and interaction online are the new cold calls. It's the new way, the new method of getting a hold of people, because 90% of people aren't taking cold calls anymore. So at a bare minimum. So that's really the best way to do it, is first, you know, understand the language, understand their challenges, understand their goals, and then put those messages out there as to how you can relate to them, how you can solve them, give them some social proof of other people's problems and issues that you've solved as well. And then it becomes very simple to build that relationship, start conversation. And then that's where, you know, Denise, you come in and you're really excellent, because once now you've got them into your funnel, you've got that opportunity open. That's where you help people really excel in handling the negotiations and conversations and presentations and bring them across the finish line. So do you want to go ahead and talk about how you do that?
Yeah, so we've been talking about how, for those of you that are just joining, that are new, or if you are just picking up on the Team Replay, which, by the way, Team Replay is not mine, Chella. So I have to qualify that. I have to actually give kudos to Nancy and to Brian. So if you don't know them, they are amazing. I'll put their information down below in the comments, but they're the ones who coined the Team Replay. So I kind of stole it from them. But regardless of whether you're Team Live or Team Replay, we've been talking about how to position your services. Chella talked about making sure that you have value, that you've established what that value is for those services, but also narrowing it down so you don't have this cheesecake approach. So you've got this narrowed down approach now for as it relates to which services. Then we've talked to Chad about how after that, you've got to target your ICP, right? And how to do that more effectively. And then when we talk about the actual sales process, there are lots of ways that you can leverage AI and technology throughout that process, right? And the sales process is pretty extensive, but really the best way, the differentiator in amongst anything else right now, is that human interaction, creating the experience that the buyers of today actually really demand. And the only way to do that is to engage with them. You've got them on the hook now. They're interested. Chad is giving you some great tips on how to do that. You're having conversations with them in the DMs or by email. And it is really then about truly understanding their problem. So you thought you understood it by your targeting message, as Chad referenced, right? But now you got to qualify it. You got to be curious. You got to continue to ask questions. You got to, the first and second and third line questions are the first line questions are usually subsurface. So let's do a little bit of a role play here, and I'll use this as my example. So I'll use, and here, I'm also doing a poor job here, and I should never say that. I'm not doing a poor job.
No, you're not.
But I'm going to, sorry there. I'm managing the technology, y'all, as part of this, so bear with me. But let's do a role play, and just because I see Chella right next to me above, just smiling and shaking her head. So Chella, how are you today?
I am good. Thank you, Denise. Do we know each other, Denise? Tell me who I am. Do we know each other?
We do. Yeah. Okay. But regardless of whether we know each other, I just want to ask you, how are you doing?
Okay, good. I would say, Denise, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
You're good. Well, then what makes it so good? Why is today so good for you?
Side note, this is where Denise's genius comes in. We did not practice, we did not rehearse this, but I have seen her in action so many times, and she personally has helped me in this area. What makes it really good today is that I actually looking forward to meeting up with a friend later on, and we're going to do my favorite thing. We're going to bake together.
Ooh, now why is baking your favorite? Why is baking your favorite thing, your favorite activity?
And this is something that I just thought about recently. For me, baking is, if I'm having a kind of celebration, I go to baking. If I am having kind of a low day, baking. If I feel stuck and I just don't know what to do next, baking. For me, baking, it goes with all three of those things. Something about baking, creating, and coming into the kitchen and putting these ingredients into this just delicious little treat makes my day. So no matter whether a celebration, having a low day, I just not inspired, baking to me is the answer to all of those three things.
Awesome. I love that. So this is an example. Most people will ask how you're doing, and Chella's response was good, and they would have moved on. The difference here is I found out what she defined as good. I found out, and she shared with me because I was willing to ask. She shared with me all of this information. When we talk about selling a solution, we have to be curious enough to ask that second and third line question to understand what probable root cause is. What is driving them to actually look for a solution like yours, whether that's a product or a service? That's the beauty in leveraging the human side of ourselves within the process, is that we have the ability to get to that probable root cause. And oh, by the way, it's not just about getting to the probable root cause of this problem that they're trying to solve to, but it's also understanding what makes them a hero. So for me, I know right now that if I'm going to sell something to Chella, I want to relate it back to, think about when we close this deal together after our partnership, how much, or think about what it would be like to go and celebrate in the kitchen together, baking something fun, right? Now that's not something you would normally end with, or that wouldn't be your lead off in trying to solve, trying to make them a hero. But that's not the point. The point is, I've uncovered something that I can now something back to her on. And there's a noise going on. I'm not sure who that is. Someone vacuuming? Yeah. So anyway, so I think that, there are tons of different areas within the sales process in which we should leverage the human side within the sales process. But I just wanted to show you just a little snippet of, or an example of, what it's like to be curious, leveraging and really elevating how we connect with them in the sales process so that you can get to probable root cause. That then takes you, and then understanding their hero, what makes them feel like a hero at the end of the day. If you take those two things and combine them, those are what carry you through the entire sales process to get you to closure. So that's it in a nutshell. That was just a little example.
And suddenly I'm hungry. Oh my goodness.
And tell us a magnificent baker, Chad.
Oh, no, I'm going to have to find out.
Yeah, because I practice, right? And it goes to practice. It's a skill set. So what Denise just shared with us is the skill set. And at the beginning, you may feel a little bit awkward, right? But why Denise's genius is guiding you. Be curious. I don't believe, and we're not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that you fake anything. When you come from a place of being curious, one, you're going to learn. And two, you're really going to be able to learn about that person, their likes, their dislikes. And so now every single one of you out there know that I am just one baking nerd, and I really enjoy it. I mean, I do classes. I teach classes on baking because I believe that baking is one, people seem to get overwhelmed. And so I've gone to a lot of different schools and I teach kids how to bake. Make it seem
so
like,
cool.
I mean, I've also do classes online, but that's not it. Be curious about the other person, right? Have them, because what Denise just walked us through, right? The answer could have gone in any way, but Denise, we have to learn to listen, right? And for whether it's baking, whether it's jogging, whatever the person is bringing it back to them, because you're letting them know that you were actually listening. And that's something that AI cannot do. We listen to where the person is and we meet them where they are. To me, that's where now it's no longer a sales. You have an offer, you have a product that's going to save them time, is going to save them money, is going to transform their business, is going to transform their health, whatever that is that you have, right? It's not a sales. It's if they need this and is going to make their life better in any way, shape, or form. That's where we take the sales out of the equation, right? This is where it's no it, the conversation becomes a lot easier. And it also it could be, also be open to it's maybe the timing is off. Maybe they're not ready for this, whatever your product, your service is today, right? Maybe they need a little bit more time to get to that point, but you don't know that until you have that deep conversation and you're asking those questions. We have got to know where they are. Because, I love to say, because if you're in college and they're in the elementary school, right? What do they need to get to the next level? That's it. And your product and service may be the right take now, but also the timing could be off. And I think that's what we need to be aware that depending on where they are, it's our product the right thing and also the right time.
You also bring up a really amazing point, Chella, is curiosity. And that's one of the most important aspects in prospecting today these days is also that curiosity factor. The reason I say that is, think about it. I have people ask me all the time, why can't I find any interested buyers? And I go, well, tell me, whenever you're interested in something, what do you do? And they go, well, I go online. I do a Google search, or I start checking it out. I'm like, exactly. So your prospects are doing the exact same thing. Are they going to find you? And so it's really important for us in sales to make sure that we have complete profiles, that we have the information out there of the problems that we solve and who we are and how we do it, so that when our prospects go searching, especially on LinkedIn, because they can search and they can find us very easily, that we come up, that they can see what we offer, they can see what we talk about, they can see the problems and the way we address things, and we can start being a factor in that curiosity and generating that interest in what we do. And that's how we start building that revolution of that inbound pipeline that will start coming our way from social media, and how our content itself will attract people. There's the old law of you can push or you can pull. Pushing is a lot harder than pulling. Attracting is so much easier, and you can attract people through your messaging, through your content, through your profile. So you have to utilize those things. And that's one thing that, of course, people are going to learn from us is how to do that, how to attract people, and how to then bring them through your opportunity funnel and know what you're offering, and all of those things that combine to bring it all from beginning to end, alpha to omega, if you will.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Chad. I know we're getting close to the bottom of the hour. We've made this a 30-minute live stream, so we want to kind of wrap up and share a little bit about what's ahead of us. Originally, this was a Celevators audio event, right? And then Chella had her audio event. And through the combination of those is where we decided to take this partnership with the trio, or the three of us, right? And Chella, as you saw in one of my things, she loves threes or odd numbers, right? So what we decided to do was offer these events on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Time for Chella. That's 8 a.m. on Pacific Coast, 11 a.m. Eastern, and you can do the math for the rest. We will be doing alternating weeks, where this week is a live, next week is an audio. So this week was really an introduction to what we're doing. And it was talking about, for those that may just be joining or had to tune out for a second and are tuning back in, it was how to position your services. We all three come together in a way that we complement one another, such that we can really help organizations, small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs to position their services in a way that create value, help you to attract your right client, and to do that in a way so that you can prospect effectively. And then how do you then inject the human aspect within the sales process to close a deal so that you are continuously growing within your business. That being said, next week will be an audio event. So if you'd like to join us next week, we'd love to have you on stage, and we can actually talk through then while you're on stage. We can talk through some of your concerns, your issues, or anything that you might be having in which you need maybe help with or that you have questions about. We'll invite you on stage. And I love that Michelle said clarity and positioning is a key to attract and transform. Very, very true. So Michelle, we hope that you and all the others that are out there will join us next week on the audio. And then depending on how the audio goes, we may use some of that information in the following live, right? So the goal is for us to work with you on the audio events and then take that information and leverage that for our lives so that you get more insight as it relates to some of the outstanding issues or challenges that most of us are all facing today. Would you guys agree that that's a kind of what our attempt is?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. And I do want to take the time really quickly, though, too. We didn't really have an opportunity to introduce ourselves. For those of us that are new out there, let's do a quick intro as we then thank everyone for being here. But just, I'll kick it off really quickly. I am Denise Martha Bachman. For those that do not know, I own Success with AI and my Celevators program. I've known Chella for a really long time, and we just kind of meshed together. Chad and myself, we are a much newer relationship, but love Chad. And so that was why we kind of all three came together. That's enough about me, other than I'm here in Houston, Texas. So maybe Chad or Chella, one of you guys take it over next.
Go ahead, Chella.
Thank you, Chad. So Chella, and right now I'm coming to you from Orange County, California. And I am passionate about guiding women entrepreneurs to increase their fees and enroll new clients. And I am just delighted to be part of this trio because we want to make a bigger impact. So we came together just for that, because together we believe we're going to be able to help you transform your business 1, 2, 3. Hence the trio approach. Leave us your questions. We are delighted to, answer your questions. And please join us in our audio room, because we can bring you on stage and get some questions answered.
Awesome.
Nice. And for anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Chad Johnson. I own Best Life Ventures. And what I do is I help salespeople and companies build limitless pipelines and compete in the marketplace today, draw in high quality prospects, have an opportunity filled pipeline with real, true, valid opportunities, high conversion that will go into your sales funnel and close. And you know, it was kind of funny when I met Denise and Chella, it was by happenstance. I was like, that's it. That's the perfect link, because now we can help you refine your offer, price your offer, find your customers, and close your customers. And that's really what we bring to you, that whole package from I have an offer to I now have a customer. And that's what we're so happy to be bringing to all of you, and look forward to helping you with in the weeks and months to come.
I love what Michelle just said. Marketing gets you leads, but sales gets you paid. And sales is sales is the lifeline of any organization, whether you own your own business or you have teams of people underneath you and you're a large business. You will not succeed if you don't have the sales. So we are here to partner with you. By the way, we have the trio approach. I don't know that that's the name we'll stick with, but if you guys have ideas, we'd love for you to share those with us. You can send us a DM. You can put it down in the comments below, whether you're on Team Live or Team Replay. We'd love to hear that. And we also, just as an FYI, we are starting a cohort in April. So if you're interested in joining with us, please be sure to let us know. We've got a great opportunity for us to bring that to you and we're looking for 5 founders who are interested in participating with us. And we have an opportunity to share with you if you're interested. DM or put the comments below. depends on whether or not you want it private, you want to message us privately, or just put it out there. You can also continue to test us out. Come out and let's talk about live problems next week on the audio event. So feel free to join us for that. And otherwise, mark your calendar every Thursday, 10 a.m. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. We are coming to, or we actually are now at the bottom of the hour. We thank everyone for having been here. Chella and Chad and myself are super grateful and excited, both all at the same time. And we look forward to conversing with you both in the comments, then in the DMs, and next week. Anything else that you guys want to add as you're closing, as we close out?
Nope, that's it.
Did it
All right.
great. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yep. And thanks everyone for joining. See you soon.
Bye now.